YouTube, it's Black, and today I want to do a deck profile for my Noble Knight deck. This is the build I'm going to be playing for this format, or until not Primal Origin, Duelist Alliance release, and if this deck gets any more support. Hopefully it does, because this is actually my favorite archetype right now. Now, a little history about me in this deck. I've been playing this deck for a long time, since the vanilla Artorias was released. Played a Dark Blade Rabbit variant, and it was really fun. I like the concept of the deck. I love the art of the deck. It's just, this is currently my current king of Yu-Gi-Oh art, and I just like the way it functions. This is, contrary to what people say, this is not a bad deck. This is a very, very, very solid tier 2 deck, and it's not more or less this guy. Oh, I got this gimmick. I'm gonna summon mid-row. I'm gonna go boards. I'm gonna go king, because that's not gonna let you win. But you have to know what you're doing before you start throwing out plays, and the deck punishes you greatly if you don't know what you're doing. So before I get into any of that and any of the text or explain anything, let me run through the deck real quick as usual, and then we'll go from there. So starting off with the main deck, I'm running 21 monsters. I have 1 Noble Knight Ishtar, 1 Ignoble Knight of Black Lon Saloon, 2 Noble Knight Gawains, 1 Noble Knight Perdure, 1 Noble Knight Dresden, 3 Noble Knight Medrose, 3 Noble Knight Boars, 1 Noble Knight Gwal Shavad, and 3 Noble Knight Brothers will cap out the actual Knight monsters. Other monsters are 2 Maxis, 2 Gwynethars, Queen of the Noble Arms, and 1 Lady of the Lake. For spells, running about 15, I've got 1 Rhoda, 2 Soul Charges, may cut this down to 1, not sure yet, still testing. Foolish Burial, Book of Moon. For my arms, I have 2 Noble Arms of Destiny, 1 Noble Arms Gallatin, 2 Noble Arms Caliburn, 2 Noble Arms Excalibur, and 1 Noble Arms Arc de Tour. And I'm running a new field spell as well, the Noble Knights of the Round Table, and I'm running that at 2. Some of the people on Pojo swear by 3, but right now I'm really liking 2. Sorry about that, this dog is messing around. For traps, I'm only running 4, and that's 2 trap stuns and 2 breakthrough skills. My extra deck consists of an Ignoble Knight of High Lon Saloon, a Volcasaurus, Artifact Durandal, 2 Sacred Noble Knight of King Artorias, a Silent Honors Arc, 2 Noble Artorias King of the Noble Knights, 1 Heroic Champion Excalibur. I actually may replace this with a Gaia Dragon, because I never really go into this card anymore. 1 Terrafang Direwolf or Diamond Direwolf, Star Liege, Fujinte Tsukiyomi, Abyss Dweller, Gargura Cowboy, and number 80 Rhapsody in Berserk. Now to get into the deck, oh yeah, side deck, don't even worry about it, because that's a fucking mess right now. It's just things I was trying out and things I took out. As you can see, there are some staple traps in there, and I'll explain why those are there later. So starting out, Ishtar, new Noble Knight revealed in Primal Origin. Basically, he's the Dragon Ruler of the deck. These stats, the 21,900 stats are wrong, do not follow those. His real stats are 16,2000. But basically, you can banish 2 Noble Knights from the graveyard to special summon this from your hand or graveyard. And when you exceed or synchro with this card, the monster that's summoned can't be negated, and your opponent can't activate any effects when it's summoned. So it basically means you have a secure king play, a secure high knight play, or if you play other tuners or other synchros, the monster that you summon with this can't be stopped. Now, of course, there's always the reactionary period when that monster activates its effect or something like that, but still, it's really good for the deck. I don't recommend playing more than 1, because you're never really going to summon more than 1. And that's about it for that. It's a really good card for the deck. Ignoble Knight became super important with the release of Brothers. I actually was not playing this card, and I avoided this card like the fucking plague. But with Noble Knight Brothers, if I ever get Ishtar in this stuck in hand with Brothers, I can summon Brothers, special summon Ignoble High Knight, tribute off Brothers, get an arm, go for King, or go for something, and then swing it and go in from there. Plus, if you don't want to draw into this card and you have 3 Noble Knight cards on the field, you can just dump it with Noble Knights of the Round Table for further derp-ass plays later. Now, to Gawain. You may see, I've seen a lot of Noble Knight decks running 3 Gawain, because a lot of the Noble Knights like Mid-Row and Boars are treated as normal monsters and they're not equipped with anything. And because Gawain can special summon himself when you have a Noble Knight monster on the field, a normal type one, it's basically free XYZs from there. I'm only running 2 because I realized as I was playing the deck I never really ever summoned more than 2 in a match. So I decided 3 was overkill, and I never felt the need to blow my entire hand summoning 3 Gawains if I knew I couldn't win. So I decided to just cap it out from there. Now, Perdur. Most people do not like Perdur. I like Perdur because Perdur plus Boars plus Gwynethar and Destiny means your opponent's not getting over your field for a long time. Perdur is the strongest Noble Knight you can summon. It's a pretty good summon when you have Perdur and Caliburn, because he turns to a level 5 Dark, and he's got about 2400 attack, no, 2300 attack, I'm sorry, and he basically can't be run over. Him with Gwynethar means he gets to kill anything that attacks him, and if he does happen to get Darkhold or Moral Talk or something, that Noble Arm that was equipped to him goes back to your hand, which is I like. Now, you don't have to play Perdur if you're going to play the deck. You can just swap it out for that 3rd Gawain, but this was my other option besides that 3rd Gawain. I'm still running the 1 Dristan because Dristan is actually really good for getting for spot removal. If you summon Dristan equipped it with Destiny, it'll immediately pop something face up on the field, and then you have a monster that has to be hit twice to be killed. Plus, if you're stuck with Boars or Mid-Row on the field, your opponent will be forced to attack Dristan first because he protects all the Noble Knight monsters with 1800 or less attacks, which is absolutely wonderful. But now we move on to the core of the deck. Do not try to play this deck without 3 Mid-Rows and 3 Boars. They are the core of the deck, they are the heart and soul, and they are the deck's main engine. Everybody knows how important Mid-Row is. Basically, he is the recruiter for the deck. By equipping one of Noble Arms, he can special summon any Noble Knight monster from the deck. Plus, he turns to a level 5 Dark when he's equipped again. So, do not play this without Mid-Row because you need it. And starting off first turn Mid-Row is not what you want to do. What you want to start out with is first turn Boars. Boars is incredibly important to the deck, even more so than Mid-Row, because Boars thins the deck. He gets all your arms out of the deck, so you have a less chance of drawing into them, and a greater chance of drawing into cards like Book of Moon, Foolish Burial, Soul Charge, and your traps. Also, he is very, very, very important into getting Gwynethar into the graveyard first turn. Boars plus Gwynethar means your opponent can't kill this card for a long time, because Boars, like Mid-Row, turns to a level 5 Dark when he's equipped with a Noble Arms card. So he basically goes to 2000 attack, and he blows up anything that attacks him. The ideal starting hand for this deck is either Mid-Row, and I've come to favor Boars more likely, because Boars helps get the deck started. So remember, do not play the deck without these 6 cards, or these 2, in triplicate. Moving on to Gwalchavad. Gwalchavad has always been a card I played at 1. When the deck didn't have nothing, I played it at 3. That play that the blog put up with Blade Armor Ninja and Excalibur is nice, but it really, in the current meta, it's currently ineffective. But Gwalchavad does have the benefit of being treated as a normal monster that doesn't change its level when it's equipped with a Noble Arms card, plus the ability to grab any Noble Knight monster from the graveyard by blowing up that equip card, and you just put it back on him. Now, the next edition that came out in Primal Origin was Noble Knight Brothers. I have seen people bash this card to hell and back saying, oh, this card is not good because you have to normal summon and get its effect off. That effect is super important. What it does is it gets these knights out of your hand if they ever get stuck, because drawing into these cards when you can't do anything with them absolutely sucks balls. If you summon like I stated first, if you summon Brothers and summon the 2 level 5 knights, you can tribute off the Brothers with the Noble Knights effect, grabbing arms, and basically make a safe king play from there. Plus, Brothers can special summon 2 level 4 Noble Knights to help get some extra play started. If you can summon something like Dristan and Boars off Brothers, Brothers will summon the 2 of them. You equip Boars when they equip a Noble Arms card, Boars will thin the deck. Then you can equip something to Dristan, Dristan will pop a card. All 3 will be able to attack for a decent amount of damage. And also, assuming that Brother survives the next turn, you can just use it for an Exceed. Later, getting around it, you can only summon Noble Knight monsters, if you use this effect. Plus, him being an Avarice for the deck is really good. It allows you to start reusing your Noble Arms cards for boars while being able to draw cards at the same time, and also puts back some of your knights so you can reuse them or have cards to use for Medivh or just have monsters in the deck. Moving on, Maxi. Maxi has become really important due to the amount of special summoning and soul charges, so 2 Maxi is necessary for the deck now, at least 2. Gwynethar, really great addition to the deck. A monster that's treated as a Noble Arms card is absolutely amazing, which means it can be thinned by boars, it can be equipped to Medivh so he can get his effect, it can be equipped to any of the Noble Knights so they get their effects. It can be searched out by High Knight and Black Knight. 3 is a little bit overkill because you don't want to have 3 of these, so 2 is perfectly fine. Because you don't want it to conflict with the other arms, since you can only use her equipping effect once per turn. But just to run over its effect real quick, for people who don't know what Gwynethar does, it's you can target a Noble Knight monster you control, equip this card from your hand or the graveyard to that target. It gains 300 attack, and if you equip it to a light monster, the equipped monster would be destroyed by a card effect. You can destroy it instead, giving it the Destiny protection. Or if it's equipped to a dark like Medivh, boars, or Perdur. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster, at the start of the damage step, you can destroy that monster, then destroy this card. Basically meaning your Medivh, boars, and Perdur, or Black Knight are safe for a turn. Now, Lady of the Lake. You really don't have to play Lady of the Lake. You can swap Lady of the Lake for another trap. But damn it, I paid for this Lady of the Lake. I'm going to use this Lady of the Lake. But for the archetype, since I'm not playing the normal, she is a subpar tuner for the deck. But she's still really good if you can foolish your first turn and you get a level 5 knight stuck in the field, or you have boars and Medivh after they use their effect. So you can just special summon her, go on a High Knight, grab another equip from the deck, attack over something, search out a Noble Knight card, overlay the 2 for King, and go from there. So once again, you don't have to play Lady. I'm playing it because I paid for it. Rhoda, of course, Soul Charge. This deck is actually one of the decks that can take advantage of first turn Soul Charge and use it efficiently, because if you were able to go into Bujintei Tsukuyomi first turn and just drop your hand, get a new one, and Soul Charge the monsters you sent back, you are very likely to have a very reliable, very great setup for your next turn, with the possibility of drawing into some of your protection like Book of Moon, Trapstone, or Breakthrough Skill. Foolish just helps get Gwynethar into the graveyard. It helps get Black Knight, Each-Tar, Lady of the Lake. It is basically your second Rhoda for the deck, since half the deck works out of the graveyard as well. Book of Moon is just protection. Your Noble Arms lineup. Everybody's Noble Knight deck that I've seen pretty much has either a similar or a vastly different lineup, because the amount of arms and what type of arms you choose vary between the player. Now, I'm kind of more or less a defensive player with who stacks up with small bonuses while slowly putting on aggression. So I like to see, I doubled up on Destiny because I like seeing Destiny first turn. It is probably the most reliable Noble Arms and the one you want to see first. Now you can max out Destiny if you want and choose only to play 1 Caliburn. That's fine too, but I feel 2 is perfect because, like Destiny, Gwynethar does the same thing, and seeing one of these 2 first turn is absolutely amazing. Now, 1 Gallatin. Gallatin is really great for having a very strong Noble Knight on board first turn. If you equip it to Perdur, he goes to 2900, which is fantastic. If you equip it to Boars, he goes to 27. Same thing with Medivh. Brothers goes to 22. You get the gist of what I'm saying, but with the minus that they get weaker each turn. Now, that minus really doesn't matter. Actually really hurts in the end, because it'll constantly drain your knight till it gets to 0 or till it gets off the field. So 1 is okay, because this card, while being really good and boosting attack, does not have any secondary effects like some of the other knight cards. So 1 is fine. You probably won't need that 1,000 point attack boost, because of most things in the meta now don't get over 2,500 if you're pushing it. 2 Caliburn. I've seen people play this card at 1 to fit in either double Gallatin or 3rd Destiny. I like Caliburn a lot. That 500 point life gain really makes a difference. Plus that 500 point attack boost is great. Because, like I said, I started again because I'm just in love with boars. Caliburn plus Boars plus Gwynethar equals great first turn, and this is another card I want to see often, so I play 2. Excaliburn. This is probably, behind Destiny and Caliburn, this is the best Noble Arm the deck has. Even though it does not come back after it's been destroyed by a spell or trap, and it does not equip itself back to a knight because that'd be busted, but basically this is the card that protects your knight from targeting, and it acts as its own rank up magic for the deck. Basically, if you have a king, a Artorias King with Noble Knights has blown up all your opponent's spell and traps, and you want to just go higher, you can remove this card from the graveyard, go into Sacred King, get more Noble Arms, and have a monster that can pop monsters from there. But basically, to sum it up, and sorry if I'm rambling, it protects your knights from targeting and sets you up. And this is another card you want to see really early, or once you secure yourself in your plays, this is the card you want to equip to it to protect it. So it protects you from Arc, it protects you from Compulse, and basically just any cards that target. I don't like Arc Detour. I don't. I see Arc Detour's uses now because, but in the format and the way most people play now, I'm kind of iffy about popping face down cards. But it really does help when you can pop face down monsters, and it's just another Noble Arms to help get you started. So I guess it has its uses there. So I'm playing 1 regretfully. Usually if I have to go into game 2 or game 3, this is the first damn thing that gets sided out for cards like Torrential, Compulse, and Bottomless. Now, Noble Knights of the Round Table. Noble Knights from the Round Table, thank you Noble Knight Forum, you convinced me. This card is actually really good. I was actually considering playing this card at 1 or just skipping out on it at all. But being able to thin Noble Knight monsters you don't want to see out of your deck is freaking amazing. Being able to special summon monsters from your hand is amazing. Being able to add Noble Knight monsters from your graveyard back is fucking amazing. The way I play, I never see that in 12 effects, so I don't even consider that a factor. But if you are able to get to it, you have a field spell, not quite on Rainbow Ruins level, but pretty dang good with 4 effects. Basically, you're going to use this card every single turn for that Foolish Burial effect to draw on the knights you don't want to see, get each tar and ignoble into the graveyard. Really wish it could send the arms, but you can't have everything you want. Trapstun is very essential for the deck because Trapstun ensures your plays go off. We are in a very trap heavy format. As you can see, that's why I've dropped MST. Preemptive MST, well, not dropped it, I've sided them. Preemptive MSTs really don't help sometimes, and this deck really needs the space because of the massive monster count you have to run. So Trapstun basically blankets you and ensures your plays will go off. And because you play so few traps, it really doesn't hurt you as well. And Breakthrough Skill because this format is fucked, and instant effect negation and negation that you can use twice is always great. For the extra deck, Ignoble's in here for the same reason Lady of the Lake. I paid for this dang thing, I'm gonna use this dang thing. Volcasaurus, because rank 5s are easy for this deck. Artifact Durandal is something, a recent addition to the deck that me and my friend discussed, and then I've seen other people on the Noble Knight strategy guide discuss as well. Durandal is actually pretty amazing for the deck because any popping effect that targets or any MST, you can just go redirect to a Noble Arms, or you can just shuffle your entire hand back for a destructive play, or if you just need a new hand because you drew into one of these two. Durandal is amazing for the deck. You don't have to play it, you can swap this out for a Gaia Dragon or another rank 5 if you choose, but I would highly consider it for the deck. Sacred Noble Knight of King Artorias. The King duo you need to play at least 2 of because if you are pushed into a corner, you have the ability to make both of these at least twice if you need it. Arc is a no-brainer because Arc is a good card. Like I said, this may be swapped out for a Gaia Dragon because there are a lot of times where I have to go into the other rank 5s. I have nothing else to do with them once they burn their materials, and Gaia Dragon will probably be the perfect fit for that. Direwolf because he is just great spot removal, and if you ever have him and Tsukiyomi on the field, you can just pop a use Tsukiyomi instead of blowing up your Direwolf and still have a 2000 beater to attack with. Starliege is a great card. More effect negation is always amazing. Plus, once he's destroyed, you draw a card. Tsukuyomi, very, 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 very important to the deck. This is probably going to be, unless you're playing against the hands, this is going to be the first Exceed you go into. Because if you draw a screwed up hand that rather be in the graveyard than in your hand, Tsukuyomi will reset that for you. That detach 1, draw 2 effect is amazing. Plus combined with Soul Charge, oh my gosh, bro, oh wow, it's like I'm seeing the world in a new light with that. Also Abyss Dweller, because Fire Hand and Ice Hand and everything, and this deck can really pop out the rank 4s really easy. Same thing with Cowboy, and Rhapsody and Berserk is actually a really good card. Banishing key monsters from the opponent's graveyard, and being able to equip itself to other Exceeds to give them a 1200 point attack boost, means that you start out with a 5200 King, which is amazing, or a 4200 Excalibur. Stop. Artorias, I mean. Now, as you can see, I have a really messed up side deck. There was some things I was trying out, some things I swapped out. There's a second Lady of the Lake I used to play. Kanigalim is another good choice for this deck if you can't afford Durandal, and he's a lot easier to go into. Ragna Zero is actually, in reality, in my side because Tenki is still a thing and attack boosting is still a thing, but I don't need her in the extra deck particularly. So I don't want to take up space, so I moved her to the side deck. Blade Armor Ninja, good card, easy to go into for the deck. I just came to the conclusion I never really go into this card and decided to take it out for better things like Direwolf and Tsukuyomi. MSTs are in the side deck in case I need them. I pull them out and swap them with Arc Tour if I need the preemptive MST, or one Noble Knights of the Round Table, depends on how the duel's going. Screw this card. There's the third Noble Knights of the Round Table. Now I actually have the Trinity sided, the Bottomless, Compulse, and Solemn Warning, because I needed to be able to make sure my plays went off than preventing my opponent from doing something. More than likely my opponent's either going to summon a Fire Hand, Ice Hand, Trap Trade something, or a Worm. So I'd rather have the protection from that with Trap Stun rather than just being able to say Bottomless, you can't do anything. And Full House was just another card I was testing for the deck. I may keep this in the side, may not, still working things out. But yeah, that's about my deck, or the way I'm running it at the moment. Who knows, this may change tomorrow, but I really like this deck. I really love this deck. It's actually behind Batteryman, my favorite archetype. Just love the art, the way it plays, and it's a very aggressive deck. And something you have to think about as you play it, and don't just say, okay, here's part A, here's part B, and then part A plus part B equals part C. It really challenges me as a player in the way I had to build it, and the way I have to play it, and I love it for that. But if you guys have any questions on the deck, or any suggestions, as usual, just hit me up in the comments, or send me a message. But as always, thank you all for watching, stay black, and I will see you next time.